Good morning, good afternoon, and good day to everybody, and welcome back to our Bible study. Today we are in Luke chapter 24, and this will wrap up our Bible study for this gospel. After this, we'll probably move on to doing Proverbs and then so on and so forth. I'm doing Proverbs next because I'm reading Proverbs right now, so I figured that'd be the best option to just go with what I'm reading. So, anyway, let's get into Luke chapter 24, and let's get this wrapped up, guys. Starting off, we're going to start with verse 4, and it says, "And it came to pass that as they were much perplexed thereabout, behold, two men stood by them in shining garments. And as they were afraid, and bowed down their faces to the earth, they said unto them, Why seek ye the living among the dead? He is not here, but he is risen, but is risen. Remember how he spake unto you when he was yet in Galilee, saying, The Son of Man must be delivered into the hands of sinful men and be crucified, and the third day rise again. And they remembered his words, and returned from the sepulchre, and told all the things to the 11 and to the rest. It was Mary Magdalene, and Joanna, and Mary the mother of James, and the other women that were with them, which told these things unto the apostles." And this section is talking about how they just went to go see the burial site of Jesus, and they're like, he's not here. And they started freaking out, and they didn't remember the words that Jesus had told them about how he would rise again on the third day, right? But then it says two men in bright garments, which would be angels, appeared to them and said, Do you not remember what he told you, that literally on the third day he was going to rise and you would not find him here? And they're like, why are you looking for the living amongst the dead? Jesus, they're saying, he's alive. He's in heaven right now. Okay, let's move on. And their words seemed to them as idle tales, and they believed them not. So even when they returned and they told the 11, it says 11 because Judas at this point has already unalived himself. Okay, but they're telling the 11 apostles, like, guys, we saw two angels, and they told us that they were not here. Even the 11 denied them. Even the 11 didn't believe in them, which is crazy to me that the people who literally walked with Jesus didn't believe that Jesus had returned. Isn't that wild? Okay, let's go back into this. The road to Emmaus. Okay, so it moves on saying, They then arose Peter and ran to the sepulchre, and stooping down, he beheld the linen clothes laid by themselves, and departed, wondering in himself at that which had come to pass. Okay, so this is saying even Peter sitting there wondering, like, did this man really just rise from the dead and go to heaven? So he's wondering in himself, right? So it says this next section is called the road to Emmaus. And behold, two of them went the same day to a village called Emmaus, which was from Jerusalem about 80 furlongs. And they talked together all of these things which had happened. And it came to pass that while they communed together and reasoned, Jesus himself drew near and went with them. But their eyes were holden that they should not know him. So what that means is they saw a man that they saw what they thought was a man. But their eyes were holden, which means they could not recognize him for the Jesus, for their body that he was in on earth, because he was no longer in that same body at this moment. In a way, it seems like Jesus disguised himself to kind of test their faith. And you'll see what I mean here in just a second, okay? And he said unto them, he being Jesus, and he said unto them, What manner of communications are these that ye have to one another, as ye walk and are sad? And one of them, whose name was Cleopas, answering said unto him, Art thou only a stranger in Jerusalem, and hast not known the things which are come to pass there in these days? And he said unto them, What things? Okay, so moving on, we're gonna skip ahead a little bit. If you guys want to, I will link the chapter down below so you can go read it for yourself. Okay, and I'll probably put the link. No, we'll just put it down in the description so you can click it. If you're watching this on Shorts right now, I highly recommend you go and click and watch the whole video, because a lot of times the shorts don't give as much context as the long video will, okay? And I know you guys are not watching, the people who are watching the long form right now, that message was not for you, okay? Moving on, verse 25. Then he said unto them, O fools, and slow of heart to believe all the prophets have spoken. Ought not Christ to have suffered these things, and to enter into his glory? And beginning at Moses and all the prophets, he expounded unto them in all the scriptures these things concerning himself. So the part that we skipped over basically said that this man decided that this man, being Jesus himself, decided to go along with them to wherever they were heading. And when they all sat down to meet, which means they all sat down to have dinner, he started telling them like, "Oh, you guys talk like like it's not possible that Jesus that I'm stuttering right now because this is actually Jesus talking to them, but he's talking to them in a way like, you guys make it seem like this Jesus guy could not have rose from the dead whatsoever, right? Okay, well here's how he ends up revealing himself to him that he's actually Jesus speaking to them. And they drew nigh unto the village whither they went, and he made as though he would have gone further. But they constrained him, saying, Abide with us, for it is toward evening, and the day is far spent. And he went to tarry with them. Okay, so they actually invited him with him, and I skipped ahead a little bit. They weren't sitting down to eat yet. They're getting to that point, okay? And it came to pass that as he sat at meat with them, he took bread and blessed it, and brake, and gave it to them. Does this sound familiar? He blessed the bread, he broke it, and he started handing it to them. This sounds like the Last Supper. And immediately, it doesn't say immediately, but and their eyes were opened, and they knew him, and he vanished out of their sight. And they said to one another, Did not our heart burn within us while he talked with us by the way, and while he opened to us the scriptures? And they rose up the same hour and returned to Jerusalem, and found the 11 gathered together, and them that were with them, saying, The Lord is risen indeed, and hath appeared to Simon. So they're sitting there, they're talking amongst them with this man, and he's expounding on all the prophets as he knows them personally, because he does. But he's sitting there expounding on their stories, expounding on the scriptures of all these prophets. And as he's doing this, he takes the bread, he breaks it, and he hands it to them. And after he blessed it, and then he breaks it and hands it to them. And they immediately knew that this was Jesus. And the moment they realized they were talking to the Lord himself, he vanished. After he proved his point, he vanished. Okay, they got up. It says the same hour and returned from the village they had just went to back to Jerusalem. Okay, moving on, and they went and told the disciples. Right, moving on, verse 36. And they thus spake. Jesus himself stood in the midst of them, and saith unto them, Peace be unto you. And they were terrified and affrighted, and supposed that they had seen a spirit. And he said unto them, Why are ye troubled? Why do thoughts arise in your hearts? Behold my hands and my feet, that it is I myself. Handle me, and see, for a spirit hath not flesh and bones, as ye see me have. And he had, and when he had thus spoken, he showed them his hands and his feet. And while they yet believed not for joy and wondered, he said unto them, Have ye any meat? And they gave him. Look, well, hold on. Let me pause right there real quick. So literally, he appears to them. He appears to the disciples, and he shows them his hands. You remember the old Bible song where they're showing their hands? He shows them his hands and his feet, and goes, Do you not believe? And I believe, I would think that he's showing them the holes in his hands and feet, saying, Do you realize now who you're talking to? Okay, next part. And he said unto them, Have ye any meat? And they gave him a piece of broiled fish and of an honeycomb. And he took it and did eat before them. And he said unto them, These are the words which I spake unto you while I was yet with you, that all things must be fulfilled, which were written in the law of Moses, and in the prophets, and in the Psalms, concerning me. Then opened he their understanding, that they might understand the scriptures, and said unto them, Thus it is written, and thus it behoved Christ to suffer, and to rise from the dead the third day, and that repentance and remission of sins should be preached in his name among all nations, beginning in Jerusalem. And ye are witnesses of these things. And behold, I send the promise of my Father upon you, but tarry ye in the city of Jerusalem until ye be endued with power from on high. And then it says the ascension. This is where he actually ascends. And he led them out as far as Bethany, and he lifted up his hands and blessed them. And it came to pass, while he blessed them, he was parted from them and carried up into heaven. And they worshipped him and returned to Jerusalem with great joy, and were continually in the temple praising and blessing God. Amen. Guys, that is the end of Luke chapter 24. Let me know what you think. And that's the end of Luke, the Gospel of Luke. That's how it ends. Now, I want to remind you guys that Luke was not one of the main disciples. He dedicated himself to studying and getting the truth of what actually happened during Jesus' life. Okay? And that's why he wrote this book. I can't exactly remember what the time frame was he wrote it, and that's on me. I should know this. But that was his whole goal. So I encourage you, never take my words and what I think it is for the absolute truth. This is just what I thought from studying the gospel myself. I encourage anybody and everybody, if you are seeking truth, read this thing for yourself. Read the Bible for yourself. No pastor, no preacher, no sermon will ever be as good as reading the word straight up. Guys, I appreciate you so much, and I hope that you were blessed by this sermon. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Peace. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoy this type of content, please drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. It helps out more than you guys could ever imagine. And if you are looking for a community of success-driven entrepreneurs, content creators, or just Christians that want to make something out of their life in general, I'm going to have a link right here somewhere on the screen. It goes to school.com/the Christian Success Network. The idea is to have a community of people that can answer any question that you would ever have about how to build a business and do it with Christ, how to create a content channel and do it with Christ, or just how to be successful in whatever industry you're in. The more variety of industries we get to join, the better, because we'll be able to answer even more questions and have even more perspectives. I love you guys so much. I look forward to seeing you there. And one day, this will be the biggest community of Christians on the planet. I'm calling it and claiming it now. So again, get in early so you can say you were there as one of the first founding members. And yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching. Even if you don't go join, that's awesome. I appreciate it. Please drop a like, comment, and subscribe again. Turn on the post notifications so you know when I post again. And yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Peace.